Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the Performance Lab. Don't forget to subscribe below to the right for updates to new videos and a huge announcement coming up. Enjoy!
Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California, and we have another new breakdown for you today on Joe Burrow, the quarterback from LSU, one of the top quarterbacks coming out of the college football this year, and one of the probably a Heisman Trophy candidate as of right now. So, thought he would be a great guy to do a breakdown on. I'm sure the LSU fans will like this as well. But with that being said, we'll just go ahead and hop right into it. So. One of the things I want to say with Joe Burrow is that, he's a big guy. He's probably 6'4", around 220 pounds. What that means is that he is able to generate a lot of leverage based just off of his size, right? And so when we see him going and throwing, you can see what are some of the things that he does here, where he's really low into the ground, and as he's going to throw, he really leans back over the side here. And this is something that I really don't recommend very much of for guys that are, let's say, 6'2" and under, right? Like, you don't see this type of thing with a Russell Wilson or a, Kyler Murray, anything like that. Those guys are moving much more towards their target. But what this does when he's leaning over the side, it makes it so he's able to put a lot of stretch on the front part of his shoulder, which makes it so then, as he's coming through and throwing, he can now generate a lot of force by utilizing his whole body. You could see, he gets a little bit of a hip extension right there, right? Just this little push off boom, that's his hip extension. But then the rest of it is all leaning over the side where he's able to generate the force. So he puts a lot of stress or a stretch on that shoulder in order to load it. And then he also leans over to the side a lot in order to generate a lot of his force. Now, we can see with his foot that most of his weight is still on the inside part of the foot, so he's not really coming around with his hips all the way here. So he's leaving a good amount still on the table with terms of how much force he's creating and how much more force he could actually create if he was able to, get that a little bit more aligned. So now we can see from the side view too. We've seen some other guys in how they take a little bit bigger steps. And then with those steps, they're really generating a lot of force towards their target, especially recently by doing some NFL guys. We've been able to see, how well that actually looks when you're able to move laterally. So it's really good here to see Joe Burrow in that he's really not moving very much laterally. You can see how he's just kind of pushing forward, but look at how much extension he has in his back and then how much stretch that he puts within his arm. So he's a lot, he has like a similar motion to a Josh Allen type, right? And Josh Allen is also a very, very big guy. He's able to throw with a lot of leverage, and he has one of the stronger arms in the NFL. So, just because you're, not necessarily using all your body and using more of the leverages of your size doesn't mean that you're going to have you're going to end up, negatively impacting your throwing distance or your throwing velocity. It's just a different way of accomplishing the same task. And the thing is about it is if you're using your leverage, you got to be a tall guy. You got to be a big person. You can't be using your leverage and be, 5'11" or 6 foot. You just don't have the same leverage as somebody who is 6'4", 6'5", 6'7", like Joe Flacco or somebody like that. So, point being, Joe Burrow definitely does a good job of putting a lot of stretch on the shoulder joint, putting a good amount of stretch on the elbow joint, and that's where he gets a good amount of his overall power when he throws. We'll get one more here for you. I'm going to do this one here. So we can see with this throw, this is something that I see a lot of guys do. It's very common if we look at the front hip or front leg. Notice how he kind of bends that leg back, or he loads it like that, and then comes around. And what that does is that makes it so you really load that hip to go inside. See how it turns in like that? Sorry, I got to keep on doing it. Watch him turn in, boom, and then turn out. So that little bit of force is a amount of force, right? So that makes it so you're able to really generate some more through the hip as you continue to go through the throw. This is a better job of him getting his hips all the way through, and you can see how much better he is on that front foot, where he's getting all of his weight onto the outside part of the foot. And the reason I say this is because, right now we're at a point within the lab where we're working a lot more with pitchers and baseball players, and that's one of the things that stands out to me with baseball players. They do a really, really good job of creating that internal rotation at the beginning part of their throw, because they have to, they get that high knee drive. So now when they're actually going through the throw, their hip is in such a internally rotated position that now they can create a lot of force very quickly into external rotation within that hip. And so you can see Joe Burrow does that as well, where he goes and loads that internal rotation, so then he can get his hips all the way through. And I think it's a very, very effective way to be able to improve your overall force production within your hips. If you have a lack of ability to generate force within your lower body as a quarterback, that's going to negatively impact your success as as you continue to get higher, or if you want to go from a backup position to a starting position. It's all about the efficiency of the throw. It's all about how well you're using your feet and your hips and your core, and then how much overall range of motion you're able to create within your shoulder and your elbow. So, it's a combination of all that really makes a big difference, and we can see here again how Joe Burrow is able to do that effectively, and why that's made it so he's able to succeed as a top quarterback. And we can even, while I'm thinking about this, it wouldn't maybe be a bad idea to do like a comparison between like a Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray, to see some of the main differences between somebody that uses, more of his height to be able to create force in comparison to somebody who's a little bit shorter. So, if you're 6'2" or under, I'd say you definitely want to stay with more of those videos of somebody that is a little bit shorter and how he's able to throw in comparison to, again, somebody that is over 6'3". They're going to have very, very different. They're going to have to put force in different areas. So, with that being said, that'll be the end of the video here. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to hear from you. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. I'd highly recommend you guys check out this deal that we're doing with the throw breakdown and the massage gun. I'm going to make a video as well using I did a video already using the massage gun, but just giving like a little bit of a comparison of the Hypervolt compared to the gun, the Massage Gun Pro that we're selling, and why that they're basically the same thing. If anything, the Massage Gun Pro is a little bit better. So be on the lookout for that. Check that out. If you guys have any questions about that, or want to find out more, let me know, and I'll answer them for you. So as always, you can email me, Morey@yourperformancelab.com, or give me a call, 818-577-7849. Thanks, and I'll talk to you guys soon.